Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is Wednesday, June 30th, 2021, and this is a special edition of the Flight Sim News. So, the Mariana Island campaign, or map I guess you could say, was released today. So I wanted to jump in here and do my first impressions and just take a look at it and try to show you guys what you can get. And it is a completely free campaign, so as soon as I logged in, I jumped in over here under the module manager. It was waiting for me to download, which was rather nice. So let's go to instant action and see what kind of missions we get. So I've got Mariana Islands picked. Nothing for the A10C. Nothing for the A4. That little bird doesn't count. That's just a mod. Vigan. Nothing for the Vigan. Nothing for the Harrier. Nothing for the Kristen Eagle. However, you jump to the F-14 and holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 missions. So you've got F-14 and F-14A missions, which is pretty cool. If you jump over to the Viper, there's 3 missions: cold and dark, free flight, and a hot start. F-5, nothing. Sabre, nothing. Hornet, you got 3 missions. Flaming Cliffs, just a couple of missions for the F-15. The 190 D9 Dora, nothing. KA-50, nothing. Mirage, nothing. MiG-21, nothing. Mi-24P, I was hoping they would put some kind of helicopter missions in for, instant action, but they didn't. None of the choppers have any missions for instant action for it. P-47, P-51, SA-342, Spitfire, Su-25, TF-51, and UH-1H. So it seems like if you have the Tomcat, wow, did they really create a ton of missions for you, which looks pretty cool. I'm going to jump into the B model and let's take a look at this free flight and see what it looks like. Alrighty, here we are in the most awesome and familiar cockpit, the Tomcat. Pretty awesome. So the one thing I've noticed right away is it's definitely not optimized yet, and I'm not bitching about that. It's just an observation. I threw up MSI Afterburner to kind of see where I was, and I do have the majority of the bells and whistles all turned on in DCS. I'm running at like 2560 by 1080 ultra wide setting, and I've got 32 gigabytes of memory, a 2080 Super GPU, and an i9 9900K processor. And it looks like I'm getting an average of around 50, which is pretty good with all these details cranked up. And again, I'm in the Tomcat, so it's the toughest plane, I think, in all of DCS to render and find yourself with a decent frame rate, because there's just so much to render, It is beautiful. And then in some areas, it's doing a little better than others, But I'm pleasantly surprised that there's so many missions for the Tomcat. Now, I was told in the past that I think when it comes to the missions for the planes, it's usually the responsibility of the developer. I'm not sure how true that is, but that would mean that Heat Blur are the ones that put these missions together to be added into here at launch like this. And wow, there's like, what did I say, 15 missions? That's more than any other module in all of DCS, but it goes to show that, these guys really are a notch above the rest when it comes to being developers and taking care of their customers. And the the module, in my eyes, still is the best module in all of DCS World. So there is that. Really nice details down below. I can't wait to jump in a chopper and check this out, but it looks freaking good from a plane. But I have a feeling I'm going to jump into a chopper and all this lower ground detail stuff is really going to chew up the FPS. But again, that's not, it's an observation. It's not me bitching. It's just that's how it is. You know, the Syria map took a while. The channel map took a while, you know, to come out and actually give you reasonable performance. And look at all of the stuff that's on the ground down there. Holy cow. Like, that is a huge, densely populated area down there. Look at all the buildings and objects. And again, it doesn't feel like I'm lacking any performance. You know, 50 FPS is reasonable. Everybody wants to aim for 60. I think that's great. And if I turn some, you know, details down, I'm sure I can hit 100. But I really like the eye candy, and I really like everything to look as realistic and fantastic as possible, which is why I usually play outside of VR and in 2D, because this looks amazing on my monitor. Really impressive stuff here. I can't wait to jump in a chopper and check this out. I'm going to have to go to the mission editor and just drop some choppers in and see where it takes me, because there are no instant action missions loaded up for this yet. But again, pleasantly surprised that the Tomcat got so much love. There's literally 15 instant action missions for the Tomcat, and it's a mix of F-14A and F-14B. So if you have the Tomcat module and you download this awesome free new map, you've got a hell of a lot to do, man. Way to go, Heat Blur. So much tree detail down there too. This is going to look amazing in a helicopter. I know it. Man, I haven't flown this beast in a while, but I love how it buffets and shakes when you start pushing her outside of her range a little bit. Very, very cool stuff. And the coastline looks stunning, man. Look at that. Freaking awesome. Well, let's jump back, and I'm going to drop a few choppers on the mission editor and see what it looks like down low and slow. Alright, here's what it looks like from the mission editor. So it looks like you've got this main area down here, which is this big giant island. You've also got Rhoda, and then Saipan is all the way up here. So there's a ton of water, and then just these little bitty islands right here. So in the overall scheme of things, it doesn't look like it's massive, but it definitely looks like it's going to be something fun to have some pretty cool Pacific, maybe even, you know, mock Vietnam scenarios possibly. So I'm going to drop some choppers here, and we'll be right back and see what it looks like. Alrighty, here we go. So here we are in the hind. I'll try to drop down here, get a little bit lower to the ground, and see what kind of frames we can get. So far it's looking like about 50, not bad. Average of about 55, which is really good. Nothing to complain about. Just got to watch my speed there. Between 300 and 350 is where this thing wants to do that retreating blade stall crap. So I'll just point my nose up a little bit and bleed some speed off. Looks like I'm dropping down to about 48 with all of these trees and everything, but wow, does it look good. And to be honest, 40 to 50 isn't terrible. I mean, 40 to 50 on a big flat screen with track IR is really cool. In VR, 30 to 40 FPS is usually garbage because there's just so much going on that's affecting everything else in terms of your performance. Yeah, this looks fantastic. Wow, nice little house there. These structures look really nice, man. Look at that. I bet they're all new objects, too. I'm sure they recycled some stuff, but the trees look freaking amazing. Loving it. And the water looks fantastic, as one might expect. A little parking lot over there with a bunch of cars. Even down here there's a bunch of parked cars and stuff. Very, very nice. Oh, this road is kind of up and down. Look at that. I feel like I'm pretty low right now. It's like I dropped to about 43, but my average is still 55 FPS, so that is fine by me. Yeah, that road looks kind of weird. Just trying to follow the road here, and it's like really dipping up and down a lot. But again, nothing feels choppy or sluggish or anything, and it looks great. Just look at the treetops, man. Amazing. Jump back into that pilot seat. And I wanted to cruise past this boat I just saw over here that looked pretty cool. There was like a yacht or something kind of doing its own thing over here. Look at the blue water, man. How freaking amazing is that? Alright, let's jump over to the Huey and see what that looks like. I haven't been in this old workhorse for a while. Holy cow. Now this is over that main Air Force base. I want to say this is Andrews Air Force Base. Pretty sure that's what they said it was. Wow. Looking freaking good, man. Look at that water. And the coastline, wow. Very nice. Ironically, it looks like I'm getting much better FPS in the Huey, but kind of like the Tomcat, I'm not surprised by that because the Huey is a much older module and this cockpit really isn't a lot to write home about, whereas the Hind is super detailed and it's really busy. There's so much going on, a lot of framework, a lot more gadgets taking up the screen, so it doesn't surprise me that, you know, the Tomcat or the Hind are the ones that really kind of take a hit when it comes to FPS on this new map. So it's not entirely the map it's the cockpits that are being rendered. Because look, I'm back up to, even though the average says 54, I'm getting a solid 65 here in this cockpit in real time. So that's pretty good. And just look at it, man. Wow, does it look amazing. All these trees are fantastic. Super fun stuff. Now, it's been a minute since I've been in the Viper, but I wanted to jump into something a little faster now. I want to just cruise across this. So I'm at the bottom of the map of the Big Island, and I am cruising towards, I believe, Rota and Saipan. So I'm just going to book across this map and get to the next island and see what we got. So the Big Island, the main part of this map, isn't difficult to shoot across pretty quick. I'm already over the halfway point, it looks like, of this Big Island. In a chopper it'd take you a while, and it was. But it is densely populated and looks really good. And again, probably could use some optimization. This is early access, first pass, free map. What are you going to do? I just kind of dropped that first steer point right here to go across the Air Force Base here. You can kind of see it off in the distance there. And I am just full burning. So there's definitely a ton of water on this map, which makes for, you know, really cool carrier ops stuff, I would think. And with the Corsair coming, I think this is going to be great fun. Yeah, it really doesn't take long in a jet to get from point A to point B, but wow, does this island look really nice. Like, look at the little coastline there and the rock face, and then look, it's actually populated rather well too. Pulling some G's, lots of trees again. Almost blacking out. Oh, I love the Viper. You can do shit like that in the Viper. I love the negative G effect too. It's pretty cool. So as you can see, this one isn't huge, but still looks nice. There's a small airfield there. We'll move our map around, zoom in a little bit, and then if we keep going up, we got Tinian and Saipan. Man, the clouds look nice, don't they? So this island here looks pretty small. But again, I think this is going to make for a lot of fun, man. Especially for, like, you know, once the Corsair comes out and for, like, World War II stuff. But, man, it's going to take forever to go from island to island, man. You're almost faster in these helicopters than you are in those old warbirds, you know? Yeah, this one isn't very big at all. That's just a small patch. This one looks like it's got a little bit of hustle and bustle going on with some civilization over here. Looks like we got some structures, a little bit of a town here next to the coastline. Really nice structure down there. There's a nice little airfield right there. Looks like another possible airfield right there. I think they said that they were supposedly going to release a couple different versions of this map. One that is more in tune with the era of World War II. And I bet you that's like an old World War II airstrip right there. And there's yet another airstrip right there. And I think this is Saipan, I believe. And then Civilization. Very cool stuff. I'm about to fall out of the sky because I'm out of fuel because I cruised across this map pretty quick. But again, I just wanted to show you what the Mariana Islands has to offer. And I'm sure I haven't, even touched upon any of the, proper landmarks or anything like that because I'm not familiar with it geographically. But what I've seen so far is very promising, and it looks like it's going to be loads of fun for mission possibilities, especially once they come out with the Corsair, man. I think that's going to be fantastic. And even right now, there's so much water on this map and just these few islands, so you can really do some killer carrier ops stuff, with the existing stuff like the Tomcat and the Hornet. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Again, this is free, so any of you that have DCS World can go download it right now. Even if you don't have any modules, since it's a free map, I'd imagine you could take the SU-25 or the TF-51 and download DCS for free, download the Mariana Islands map, and go sightseeing, man. Like I said, man, I think that's the thing I have more fun with in DCS than anything is just jumping into a chopper or a plane and cruising low and just taking in all the sights, And again, performance-wise, I really don't have much to complain about. Look at that. That looks fantastic. It seems to be running rather well for me. I'm up to an average of about 59 FPS. And again, I'm running at like full details with pretty much everything cranked up on at 2560 by 1080 at an ultra-wide resolution. A step down from my 3840 by 1080 that I normally run at, but I know you guys don't like to see those videos that way, but I'd imagine once I jump up to that, I'll drop a couple more FPS off, but man, my system seems to run the 2D stuff just fine, and it definitely seems smooth and enjoyable. And I'm going to jump back in here and check out the rest of this map and some of the other helicopters. But so far, so good, man. What I'm seeing looks fantastic, and it's so promising. And I'm just, happy that they gave this map out for free. Like, that's one of the coolest things these guys have ever done. I know I knock them when they do things wrong, but I also give them credit where credit's due. And thanks, Eagle Dynamics. This is a really, really nice thing to have done. And I think it's going to just add so much more fun and enjoyment to our flight simming in DCS World as it is. So that's it, guys. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to hit that like button. And until next time, guys,